Alright guys, this video is going to be about my family medicine rotation, and if it is not long enough I might throw my psychiatry rotation. So my family medicine rotation was at a privately owned clinic in, sorry if you hear the creaking, that's just people walking upstairs, was at a privately owned clinic right outside of Flint, and it was a pretty well run clinic, luckily, and so it was when a clinic is well run, your experience just goes so much better. So this was a clinic that it had family medicine, it had an urgent care attached to it as well, and then it had a pulmonology clinic attached to it as well, because the owner of the whole clinic was a pulmonologist actually. So it was a pulmonology and sleep medicine, but the sleep medicine stuff kind of happened after everyone was gone. I was precepted by a nurse practitioner who did family medicine. And then the two PAs who worked there, one of them did urgent care, but she had previously done family medicine for many years at that clinic. And another PA who did family medicine and the pulmonary sleep medicine stuff. So I mainly was with the nurse practitioner and the urgent care PA. So it was a pretty straightforward kind of situation. So I would come in, I would, I think it was 9 to 5 as well. And they scheduled their patients. There weren't any walk-ins. I would come in, I would log in, I would see which patients are on there. The medical assistant would triage, and then she would come and she would actually present to the nurse practitioner and to me. I would go in to see the patients, and just like all other times, I would, speak to the patient, speak to the patient, get their H&P, and do the physical exam, and then come on back to the nurse practitioner. And at this point, I was getting pretty good at this because this is one of my last rotations. And so the nice thing was the nurse practitioner really did take into consideration a lot of my recommendations. And if there was something that was more, in line with research that she might not have known, she would be very comfortable prescribing or like modifying her treatment plan based on that. So that was something I really appreciated because it made me feel very respected. Sorry guys, that sounds, someone is walking upstairs, so you might hear creaking, but that was cool. So they also did a lot of new patients and just the yearly physical, so that was kind of cool. The part that I really enjoyed was actually the urgent care part, so I'd also get to go to the urgent care, and this is, you're just seeing acute situations. That PA ends up becoming a mentor of mine, who I still stay into contact with today. We're pretty good friends, but she also was very sweet about taking into consideration what I thought would be best when it came to treatment plans, and she gave me a lot of autonomy in that regard. And obviously she's the one making the final decisions because she's the one who's licensed, but it just felt good that the years of studying were actually coming to fruition, because it's like, yeah, I am making the treatment plan that makes sense, and I am identifying these issues, and I do have a good differential. And at this, so that was my family medicine rotation. I also had an opportunity to shadow the pulmonologist, who's the owner, and just kind of see what pulmonology looked like. So that was nice. I saw a thoracentesis for the first time. He had a patient who had a massive pleural effusion that needed to get drained, so that was cool. Pulmonology is not really my cup of tea, but it was nice just to get to shadow, because I might not have ever known that if I didn't shadow. So that was my family medicine rotation. I will do my psychiatry rotation since this video is pretty short. My psychiatry rotation, so this is again in the midst of the world shutting down, so it was mainly telemedicine. So I would actually go to the clinic, and the psychiatry PA who was there would mainly work the afternoon shift. It was kind of cool because he had a lot of autonomy. He was a 1099 PA, so instead of there's W2 and 1099. 1099, you're an independent contractor, so you make your own schedule, you make your own pay rate, and then whoever hires you either decides to pay you that much or not, but you contract with them basically. It's almost like when you hire a plumber, like they are a lot of times if it's an independent kind of company, they're 1099, and they tell you how much they're gonna charge, right? So it was just a lot of very, he'd been practicing psychiatry, so it was a wide variety. Of course, you had the very common general anxiety disorder, major depressive disorder, or persistent depressive disorder. There was, patients who had OCD, schizophrenic or schizoaffective disorders. There was, he also did a lot of ADHD management. And the big thing about this rotation is it wasn't as hands-on, which I kind of wish it would have been more so. So in this rotation, I acted more of it as a scribe. So he would literally give me the laptop and just be like, so you're going to document. And so I would document kind of what's going on. And the nice thing about psychiatry is patient appointments are like 30 minutes or so. And so if it finished up early, there was that just amount of time for me to sit down and study. The psych PA who I was with was younger. He was in his 30s. And so it was just nice to kind of chat things up as well. When in between patients, and it's nice when you actually enjoy spending time with your preceptor, because it really was just us. So only one patient I think ever actually came into the clinic. It was all through telemedicine, and it was just kind of cool to see the fact that psychiatry could be done through telemedicine. The nice thing about psych as well is it was just it was an important reminder that psychiatric illness also isn't always psychiatric alone. And so he would, pretty often send patients for blood work as well to investigate other what they call organic causes of disease. So it's like if someone's having major depression, well, we might need to rule out hypothyroidism as a cause, right? Or if someone's feeling super fatigued all the time and, they think it's because of their anxiety or they think it's because of their depression, well, CBC might be necessary to rule out anemia. So I just appreciated the fact that he didn't forget that aspect. So yeah, those were my two final rotations. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I realize that I talk really fast. So I hope that doesn't take away from the content. If you guys appreciated the series, like, comment, subscribe. I don't do PA content super often, so if you can tell me exactly what you want to see or what questions you have, it's much more easy for me to make this content. So I hope that it was helpful for you guys. Assalamu alaikum.